So while I was scoping around, this is Calendria part four. Anyway, while I was skulking about the internet, looking, at statistics and things on ovarian cancer, I came across What Next. Sorry, you can cut that out. Anyway, I came across whatnext.com and I signed up. And I didn't really post much for the longest time. And I also didn't post much on Facebook. Okay, so one of the things I did for my company was I was a social media person, and I was on Facebook and I was on Twitter and I was on Snapchat and Instagram and all of those things for my company as well as personally. And I was very active on them, and I didn't post anything and I didn't tell people. I told the board of directors of the dog club because I felt like if I was unable to make a board meeting or something like that, they needed to know. And they needed to know too that if I wasn't going to be able to fulfill my term, because I was only about 6 months, 8 months into a 2-year term, if I wasn't going to be able to fulfill my term, my vice president needed to be able to step up and take over for me. So I had told a few people in the dog club, but I didn't speak about it. I didn't write about it. I didn't publicize it because I didn't want it to impact my career. And I didn't know if or when I was ever going back to work. So, I just kind of kept quiet about it. Anyway, I didn't post much on What Next either. And then finally in January, I did some kind of light bulb moment, or maybe it was my Kaiser oncologist saying, "You don't really want to go back to work, do you?" I posted something on What Next, and I also posted something I think in February on Facebook, and I just a quick little message that said, "This is what I've been diagnosed with, and if you have vague abdominal symptoms, get checked out because that's what this disease does. It's just a little pinch here and a little push there, and you don't really know what you've got until you're stage 4." So, and honestly, I wouldn't wish this disease on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. So I found What Next, and because I am a social media person and I don't really hold back, I dove in feet first, and I'm still pretty active on there, and I really like it, and for the most part, and it's been very helpful. There are a lot of great links and resources, and just sharing experiences with other people. I feel like it's a wonderful resource for all of us. I've had a couple of friends unfortunately diagnosed with cancer since my diagnosis. What Next is one of the first places I send them, just because I think everybody needs to know that they're not alone. And if their cancer isn't specifically what mine is, and neither of them have been, it's been very helpful for them to have a community of people with the same disease who might be undergoing the same treatment, or at least they can compare notes. And I just find it very, very helpful. And I think too, for us old timers or whatever we are, I know I'm not really an old timer, I'm kind of a medium timer, but I think it's good for us to remember that we're not alone too. I never really found a support group locally that I wanted to go to, and then I also kind of resisted the support groups because I felt like I just don't want to talk about my cancer all the time. I don't want to be my cancer. I don't want to be my disease. This is not who I am. This is a part of me, but this is not who I am. And it's not something I want to focus on. So I don't. And, some people may say, well, you're just sticking your head in the sand. And maybe I am, but whatever, it's my head to stick in the sand. And if you get cancer, you can deal with it the way you want to deal with it, but I don't want to sit around in a circle and talk to people about cancer. I just don't. And I don't think it'll help me. And I know a lot of people are different. I know lots of people are very different than I am, and I get that, and that's great for them, but this is me, so good. I also, if people are depressed or have depression or difficulty sleeping, I am the first one to say, talk to your doctor about it. If there's, medical help that you can get, go for it. I I'm all about that. I have no problem with that. And I think, there are a lot of things, if you're having side effects, especially, I tell everybody, especially the newbies that are going through treatment for the first time, tell your doctor about all your side effects. You may think, you can deal with it or it's not that bad, but they have something to deal with every freaking side effect you could think of, and probably a lot you can't. And you don't need to suffer. So tell your doctor. Tell your doctor. And if you need antidepressants, tell your doctor. If you need something to help you sleep, tell your doctor. It's okay. You have cancer. You need your sleep to help your body heal to get through this, to help your mind heal to get through this. So go for it. It's not a bad thing. Anyway, that's it. I love What Next. It's a great resource. And every once in a while, I get an email that says, hey, we're looking for people with this kind of cancer. You could take a survey and get $50 or whatever. And I've done that a couple of times. That's not the worst thing in the world either. So yeah, go for it. Sign up. Sign up.